I've had a very insane end of May. For starters, I got a haircut. It wasn't a haircut that I wanted, but nonetheless, I'm stuck with it, so yeah. C'est la vie. This video is all about my health and keeping my sanity. So, to recap, 17 years ago, I had a major heart surgery that was operating as an open heart surgery to replace my aortic valve as well as pulmonic valve and the aortic roots. I was under for 10 hours, I was told. It's a major heart surgery, but still alive now, and I was told that I would eventually need a free replacement of those valves. I was given an estimate of 10 to 15 years. 17 years later, I still have them. Because of this heart condition, I have been limiting what I can do, such as exercise. The past few years, my cardiologists have told me that they would rather put off the surgery, so I've been limiting things that I've been doing, such as exercise. I can't really exert myself that much. So now, in the present, or recently, I've been feeling these heart symptoms, out of breath, for the past 1.5 months approximately. And I've had a couple of experiences at work with my health conditions that I want to talk about. The first of these occasions, I was helping someone with gardening, doing some shoveling, and I felt the same symptoms that I've been feeling. I was only symptomatic for about 20 seconds or something like that, and then for the rest of the day I was asymptomatic. But I walked to my work as a substitute teacher at a school which is about a mile away, and I was pretty much fine for the day. However, I decided to call my cardiologist and let them know that I've been experiencing symptoms for 1.5 months. I spoke to a cardiac nurse, and they informed me that I should go to the ER, and I didn't want to do that. However, I went to the school nurse to see if they might shed some light as to what I should do. However, before I got there, I was ambushed by the admin. I told them that I'm having a medical dilemma and I require seeing the nurse, and they said, "Oh, sit down, we're gonna call an ambulance," and they did. During that time, I explained about my various health conditions, and this then started the whole feeling of, am I overplaying this? Because I, again, was feeling asymptomatic at the time being, and I didn't think that I needed all of this trouble. I was transported to the New York Beth Israel hospital, and I stayed for about 3 days. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. And I was very much trying not to lose my mind, and thankfully I didn't. I just kept on saying to people who ever asked how I was still sane or keeping my sanity. ER isn't exactly the greatest experience on the sanity, I guess. Well, at the hospital, I had an echocardiogram, a ultrasound of the heart, and I was told that my valve was barely opening, which is a good thing, I guess. And I spoke with my cardiologist specialist over the phone, and it was decided that I would be needing the replacement that was told 17 years ago. That was the first occurrence at the school. Some back notes. I have been asking for accommodations as I have health conditions, and I feel that I need accommodations in order to let me work properly. The accommodations that I had my primary care provider write out were to be able to excuse myself to use the bathroom because I have an overactive bladder, to be able to have good lighting because I'm visually impaired, to have good ventilation as I overheat very easily, and also to be able to take breaks and to have access to a chair to sit down because my health conditions can be taxing. And pretty much up until the second day, I was fine working as I got those accommodations, more or less. but on the second day, so I walked again to the same place that I was working the first day that I had the occurrence, and I got there. I felt fine. However, the assistant principal sat me down and said, "You don't look well," and they excused me from work, but I still get paid, so that's good, I guess. So the assistant principal told me to go down to the local Board of Education, to the HR department, to try to stock out my accommodations. They had earlier wanted me to bring in a letter asking for accommodations so that they could clear it. However, it could not be cleared by them, that I was told. So I went to the Board of Education. I had my letter of accommodations, primary care provider, and I was denied all of them except one. The one which asked for good lighting because of my sight impairments. But yeah, here I am at a place at the HR representative being told that I am not allowed these accommodations and that they are unreasonable to ask for, where I have been reasonably getting those accommodations. So, yeah, confusing, but life goes on. So now for the time being, I've stopped with my job. I do not want to overwork my heart or anything. I am a flight risk, as my friend says. It's very different. The recent life experiences has changed my outlook of life and has changed my perspective of my health conditions. Before, I didn't take my health conditions seriously enough, I guess, and I was told by a friend that I don't, but I went about life as a ordinary person would, I guess, and I would get complimented by people how much stuff that I get done and how I'm able to stay on top of life. However, now it feels that life has caught up with me. I am classifying what I experienced on the first day that I had the occurrence at work, a scenario of heart failure. My heart was failing to beat efficiently for the body, and water was getting into the lungs, showing heart failure. I've got the complex heart condition, as well as the Wolfram syndrome, which may or may not be linked, and then the Wolfram syndrome is its own can of worms. I had a experience where it was crippling, and I didn't feel so great in life, and that experience has made me rethink about my experiences, about how I look at life. I now see myself as a person who is disabled, and I am applying for SSI. I have already applied for it. However, I'm now filing for reconsideration. Earlier, I thought that I wouldn't need to reconsider because I thought that I would be fine working full-time, but now I don't think that's the case. But now, I'm doing better. I feel that I'm getting back on top of life. I'm able to see what I need to do and get done with that I want to do. I'm sort of in the theme of just trying to keep my sanity, and I've been able to do that fairly easily, so not too much of a problem with that. What really works for me is self-compassion, and a couple of ways that I practice self-compassion is food as well as music. The first one being maybe not that healthy, but nihilistically everything kills you. So yeah, I'm just trying to hang in there. I'm now waiting for the news about the heart surgery. I have a consultation with the top surgeons in Columbia Medical who are going to be doing my procedure on Monday, and then I also have a cardiology appointment that same day on Monday, and hopefully then I'll hear news about this whole situation, about when my surgery will be and everything. The cardiologist had said that for about a month and a half I'm gonna hate life after the surgery because it's gonna be at least a week in recovery at the hospital, 3 days in the ICU, so it'll be very exciting. I'll have a lot of lot of time on my hands. So yeah, I've just gotta keep my sanity. And then more questions go on in my head, and the one that pertains to this is, after the surgery, will I be fine? Because will I be normal? Because I will then have heart valves that actually fit my heart and everything. But we shall see. In the meantime, I've just gotta keep safe.